Must start me with a good welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys.
Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he sounds like Morgan Freeman or something. Like you should be doing like those David Attenborough films. You ever seen those on Netflix? Well, you should. Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys, man. We're back. Season 2,
Season 2 is popping off.
episode 2.
Yeah, you know what? I'm extremely excited. I know you are.
Oh God, I can feel it in my bones.
Free agent frenzy. I mean,
Yes,
we've
sir.
had what a week.
Really has been, and I think it was almost too much to handle at one time because we haven't had any football news for a while. Right. And this week we were just bombarded with things left and right.
And once it pops off like Monday at 11 a.m., you notice like your applications, your notifications are going off like crazy. Everyone's signing. It's so excited. You and I are texting back and forth. We're texting in the group. We're texting our friends. We're having the community text us. What do you think of that? And I just love it. Nowadays, NFL football is year-round.
Yes, sir.
And that's why we have this.
We have to. And honestly, I've been really grateful for a lot of you that have been watching the videos, following us on the socials. We've been getting some pushback. You know, it's funny because on some of the reels, I noticed that sometimes people see it and they forget that we're a fantasy show. Like we're strictly here to talk about fantasy football and how the NFL moves correlate to the game. Now, of course, we might bring in some football knowledge. Mr. Puma likes to talk about history. Give you a little history lesson. But regardless, that when we're breaking this news, we're talking about the fantasy value
And the implications.
and the implications. So, for example, I mentioned George Pickens being a top 5 wide receiver and not believing in him this year. And it's not because of I don't believe in the player. It was simply over the rankings and what the value is. And I see people sometimes get that confused. Do you ever get that?
Oh,
You ever see it online, the comments?
Yeah, it's more so my father. But other than that, actually, we had a great conversation the other night. He's like, oh, did you see all these guys? Where'd they go? He's like, where are you going to draft them? I'm like, that's for you to find out and everyone else to, and me to know. No, I do get some of that, but then I try to remind them as well as you do that we're strictly fantasy, and how is this going to apply to fantasy? Because people will get mad at me why we don't talk about defense. I'm like, if you're playing an IDP league, sure, but as it relates to fantasy and offense, that's what we're strictly about.
Well, during the year, too, we'll definitely throw out streamers. I feel like both of us are really good at picking streamers.
Defenses?
Defenses,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So we'll definitely touch
Playoff
that in
time.
the rankings. Yeah, sure. And then there's definitely other things to touch. But regardless, today we got the free agency frenzy. We're going to go over with you all the big names that got signed offensively and as it pertains to fantasy. For those of you who are getting confused, biggest winners and losers. So, I mean, let's start with the biggest winners. Puma, I want you to go first because I feel like you're going to bring the heat on this one.
Number one's always got to go first. It's Kenneth Walker III to the Kansas City Chiefs. Folks, Kansas City running backs per game 2024 to 2025 have ranked 29th. That is disgusting. 2014 to 2023, they ranked 5th. What does this tell you? They needed a bulldog. They needed a stud. The last time Andy Reid had a 1,000-yard rusher, guess when? Yeah.
When?
2017 Kareem Hunt rookie year. That is terrible. But you know what? We have a savior, right? Walker is coming off 1,027 yards and 5 touchdowns. And that is with a healthy Charbonnet for 18 weeks until he got hurt in the playoffs. For fantasy, this screams boom potential. Andy Reid has a knack for making a running back a top 5 fantasy option, and I believe he will do that with Mr. Kenneth Walker. He is going to be second round, first pick overall.
Yeah,
I totally feel go get him before your league mates do. All right, because I'm gonna be snatching him from you.
Wow. So you're putting him. You would take him in the second round right now, because that's where it seems like he's going.
Yeah, as the highest right now, I'll go 201.
Where it stands today, from what I'm already seeing. Now, granted, the rankings change, especially in terms of ADP, but Kenneth Walker's value is skyrocketed to he's now become a second-round pick.
You know,
That's what it is.
with Kenneth Walker, not only do you have to worry about the ground game, but the receiving game.
Yeah.
And we know Andy Reid loves to use his running backs in a receiving role. Think of Kareem Hunt coming out. Even Kareem Hunt nowadays, old Kareem Hunt, he still uses him sometimes in the pass game. You had Jarrett McKinnon in the pass game.
McKinnon is big.
You know, all these players, now they have
Rashard Smith, yeah.
Yeah, who they use. But this, they gave the money to this guy, $45 million. What does Jerry Maguire always say? Follow the money.
Wow.
And you know what? Get paid, boy. Show me the money.
Yeah, he better. For anybody that's drafting him, I mean, this is a big step. Honestly, the only reason I'm confident for you is because Pacheco is out of Kansas City.
Right.
Mahomes now, they have said, is expected to return for week 1,
Which I expect as well.
I mean, he's got time, and he's making great progress from what I hear. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to take their word for it. So, yeah, Kenny Walker, that's a great one. And you know what? I had to also go running back. And it's great because around this time last year, we were talking about a very special rookie, somebody that I love dearly.
Feel the energy.
And we were talking about him ahead of time, and now we're in this position. It feels like, it's like the Matrix. So let me tell you, Mr. Bhayshul Tuten is my biggest winner. Jacksonville Jaguars, second-year running back. Travis Etienne just left, or he just signed with the Saints. So Travis Etienne is now gone. He signed a 4-year deal with the Saints, which we will cover. But Bhayshul Tuten now got the backfield to himself for as I'm concerned. There's no big names out there to sign. There's no trades really that you're going to expect. Even if they draft somebody, he looks like he is the number one. So I remember Bhayshul Tuten, there was a big game in, I guess 2024 that was. He had played Boston College. He had somewhere 280-something rushing yards. That was the first time that I saw him prior to the draft. And my God, I was like, this guy, man, he's so fast. He's strong back. Very, I guess you could say he could be a workhorse. And his agility just simply proves it time and time and again that he's lightning speed. Topped everything in the combine. At the combine, they always say, certain stats, they don't really matter much. Of course, nobody's looking at it. But he topped every single category in the combine. The 40, the split, the vertical. Right. So everything there,
checks off all the boxes.
Athleticism. Yeah, he is clearly a number one running back. And he kind of reminds me of a Devon Etienne, but just to get, like a little bit stronger. But just to give you an idea, last year, he didn't really get much production. He was injured for a couple of games, and Travis Etienne was there the entire season. Travis Etienne played that workhorse role where I think... Who?
Travis Etienne.
Oh, yeah. Now he's saying Travis Etienne. So Travis Etienne played... I'm still going to call him Etienne.
No, I know.
He played that workhorse role in Jacksonville, and I believe that it's going to be a automatic plug and play. Bhayshul Tuten will be Travis Etienne of last year, basically. So with this opportunity and Liam Cohen's offense and his ability to move, I mean, stats-wise, you don't got much in the NFL, but at Virginia Tech, he was a beast. And clearly they know what to expect this year. So going off of that, you have to believe that Bhayshul Tuten is due for a lot of work, and I'm putting him at the top. I'm going to get him whenever I can in every league that I can.
Mike, let me ask you a question. So draft starts today. Where are we taking Bhayshul Tuten? Where do you...
I mean, to me, Bhayshul Tuten has got to be, if it was today, he's got to be a 5th-round pick at the latest. Mm-hmm. He's going to go around that RB2 because flex category. Like, if you're picking two, if you're starting with 2 running backs, I would say Bhayshul is probably my 3rd running back.
Yeah,
but he'll go maybe 2nd.
Yeah, I would say the only pushback I have on that, not for it to be a negative or anything, is that in a Liam Cohen offense, they've always had 2
running backs.
You had Rashard Smith, Bucky Irving. Now he moves to Jaguars. He had Tuten and Travis Etienne or Etienne, whatever you think it is.
But Etienne had Tuten last year, and he still finished RB11.
Yeah, I think that Tuten can take the bull by the horn here, and maybe they draft somebody day 2 just to put him right behind him.
I believe that's going to happen for sure. They're going to definitely draft somebody.
Just like they did with Tuten. Tuten was a day 2.
And 100%. And then coming out of Virginia Tech, you don't really see a lot of those guys end up shining, being a starter in the NFL. Like, he's got that talent clearly, and he's got the abilities. If you've seen him run, you know his game, then obviously you have to believe in Bhayshul too. And so I am full with Bhayshul. Len, you got to make sure that you find the clip from last year of us talking about Bhayshul too.
Yes, you are always on him.
I love this guy, man. He was my rookie sleeper running back, and now he's here. So, but now that leads us to talk about some of the biggest moves. We might as well get into Travis Etienne now. So now Etienne left Jacksonville. He signed with the Saints, 4 years, $52 million. I think it's great for him. I think he's got a lot of opportunity to shine there.
No, I think he has a great opportunity to shine. I mean, yes, that shine will take some shine off of Alvin Kamara. But with him, he's the $52 million man, follow the money, like I always say. And I did that in my fantasy league, keeper league. I actually traded for Mr. Etienne. And, I feel like this is going to be a great pairing. Look what Kellen Moore did with Saquon Barkley the first time they were together from the Giants. He made him Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Travis Etienne is going to be Offensive Player of the Year, but as a team that we were down on and fading on last time at this juncture, now coming into 2026, I feel like they have some energy.
Yeah.
I think that's all a credit to Kellen Moore and Tyler Shuck, hopefully being the future of their organization.
So, I mean, listen, his contract screams workhorse, but we know that Kamara's still there. We know that they got Kendre Miller.
Kendre Miller's still there as well, yeah.
Yep, and then, I guess they drafted, who was the rookie that they drafted last?
They had Estime off of,
Estime,
and then Hull or something like that.
Okay, so then, now Travis Etienne comes in with all these running backs. I don't know if I'm going to expect that you're going to get the same production that you got out of him in Jacksonville. By the way, he finished RB10 last year.
I say he does better. I
put him in a mid-level RB2 range finish this year. Depending on what happens with Kamara. If Kamara stays,
I mean, I'm projecting Kamara to either retire or get traded. Look at the vacancies that are left out there. You got Seattle, maybe even Denver. They were talking about adding a third. But for me, I think we're going to be pushing towards Kamara retiring. If anything, he always just wanted to be a Saint, and that's it. So for me, I could definitely see that. And if they do cut ties with him, this definitely, for me, feels that Travis Etienne will be RB1 territory.
Well, the end of so I just looked at it. This is the last year of Kamara's contract.
Right.
So he's technically signed through this year. I don't think they're going to move him. And sure, no matter what, even if they get rid of him, they have to pay him. They just restructured his deal, which leaves me to believe that he's going to probably get some work too. And Tyler Shue, like they probably believe in the rookie. Like maybe keep offensive pieces.
Rookie, but yes.
And Kamara's not going anywhere. Just let's make it clear. He'll either retire or stay. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's too involved in the community. I've heard a lot about him.
I know you say that, but for me, looking at the money, I believe he's making the same as Etienne. So they're both making upwards of 14 mil. I don't believe with cap restrictions that they're going to keep both those guys on the payroll. For me, it's either retire or he's gone. I don't expect Kamara to come into this season alongside newly acquired Travis Etienne. No way. But again, as things go on, we'll see. I definitely see Seattle as a destination, or even Minnesota. What we're going to be talking about coming up here. But I feel like with Aaron Jones, I believe they got rid of him. And now all you have is Jordan Mason in the backfield with
Wait, what are we talking about?
Minnesota, like Kamara getting traded.
Oh, you're saying Kamara gets traded.
Right, there's a vacancy. So I feel like Kamara could fill that vacancy.
We'll see. I mean, some winners there, though. Getting Travis Etienne, big time.
Big time.
Here's another big-time win for the 49ers. Mr. Mike Evans, the Mr. Consistent himself.
Love this.
Signed a 3-year deal with the 49ers. The substation is screaming his name.
Yeah.
You know that?
You know what? It's crazy because everyone that ends up with the 49ers that's an older player, they tend to get hurt. on their field. I feel like it's
Maybe it's a real thing. Maybe there really is a substation. that's affecting
I
them.
think it's over an ancient burial ground. All I know is that this could potentially be this year's Devontae Adams of last.
Well, there's going to be no Juwan Jennings.
Right.
There's no Brandon Ayuk. He's not coming back. Right. Yeah, I think with the way that their offense is looking towards the end of the season, and he was even looking pretty healthy, I think Mike Evans is due for a big year.
I agree with you. I think it'll be heavily touchdown dependent, but you'll see a lot of those Devontae Adams 1-yard touchdowns.
Sure.
But definitely, I feel like right now in their careers, Brock Purdy's definitely an upgrade over Baker Mayfield. And, just how
The Shanahan offense, too?
and the Shanahan offense.
know?
Man, did you ever see what he did with Julio Jones?
Oh, wait. So you talking about
when?
what was he in Atlanta?
Yeah, when he was the Atlanta offensive coordinator.
I forgot that he was even with
Historic knowledge. With Matt Ryan's MVP year.
the historian.
The historian has spoken. No, but honestly, just to cut it loose, West Coast offense, Shanahan's the best at it. Learned from his father. Mike Evans is going to be a stud all day long.
Yeah, he's showing some promise at the end of about this first game back actually against Atlanta. 6 catches, 132 yards. That was week 15 last year. Now, if you draft Mike Evans, I'm assuming he's going to go around the same as he did this year, 4th, 5th round. But if you do draft him, also, you have to expect that he might miss a couple of games because he has for his entire career, but he's also due for a bounce back, and I'm sure he wants revenge. So Mike Evans, be confident drafting him. I like him.
I like him too.
Next guy, who do we got? Mr. Alec
Pierce. Wow.
He got a lot of money.
He got the bag.
It was a lot of money.
Guy's like the
I don't
9th
know
or
if it's
8th
deserved.
most paid wide receiver in the league. Just shadowing that 4 years, 114 million to a guy who was 3rd option in the offense. I mean, obviously he did a lot better.
Yep.
But actually, I felt like he did better when Phillip Rivers came in. Is that me? But all I know is that he is a downfield threat. Gives me Cooper Kupp vibes. Can he be that guy? Because, as we get to our next gentleman, Michael Pittman was shipped out. So, This forces with that money, like I always say, again, follow the money. Right now, Alec Pierce is their number 1 alongside Josh Downs.
Well, he's getting paid big time.
Can we rely on a guy like this? I say no. What do you say?
Depending on where he's being drafted, I don't know if are people going to draft him as the 5th highest paid wide receiver. Like, if you're thinking of taking him in the top 10 wide receivers, I think you're crazy.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't do that. I think he's going to do better than last year, especially if Daniel
Really?
Jones plays. I think if Daniel Jones plays, he's got to play in order for that to happen. If he starts day 1, Daniel Jones is back, then I think that Alec Pierce could have a pretty good year. Because actually, a lot of his production was with Jones. Despite that, Alec Pierce had he had a couple of good games with Phillip Rivers. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
4 touchdowns
That Monday night
total
game?
with
Bro,
Phillip Rivers.
you know how many parlays that was in?
And only 2 touchdowns with Daniel Jones.
That's what I'm saying.
Which was 14 weeks.
So this guy's clamoring, I need Daniel Jones to sign, Jalen Jones to sign. Bro, Phillip Rivers got you the bag.
He did still have a lot of production though. 98 yards, 115 yards, 84 yards, 78, 80 yards. And he's a big play guy.
I don't like thrusting a guy in that number 1 wide receiver when A, he's never done it before, and B, like I just hovered over, Michael Pittman's gone. But we'll see.
We'll talk about
For
it.
me, I feel comfortable taking him in 7 or later.
Yeah, I mean that's good. 7 or later, wide receiver 3.
He's a flex play for me.
People will say that I'm crazy for that, but I just know that you can get the first 2 wide receivers. You could probably get 2 people more reliable than him. And again, you don't really know how the draft is going to play come game day. That's 6 months away. But as of right now, he's probably going to be a low-end wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. Next guy, though, related to the situation, also Mr. Michael Pittman. He now signed with the Steelers. Well, he was traded to the Steelers. Then he signed a 3-year extension, $59 million. Hey, this is actually really good for your boy Tyler Warren, because he's more open now in Indianapolis. We forgot to mention that, but, that looks good for him. So we'll get back to that. Michael Pittman, though, now in Pittsburgh, this gives some more competition to DK Metcalf They just signed Rico Dowdle also. I mean, I feel like they're trying so hard to bring in every weapon they can to convince Rodgers to come back so they can go for another playoff run.
Yeah, I think that Michael Pittman is a great addition. Don't get me wrong. I just think Rodgers is done.
Yeah.
I think their future, honestly, and probably I'm in the minority, is Will Howard. Now, he was taken in the 6th round, Ohio State, but I see flashes of a big arm and a big body and someone that could definitely adapt to the offense. And now you got 2 stud running backs, with Dow and Jalen Warren. So for me, I think, like you said, they're just trying to surround as much pieces to entice Rodgers to come back. Yep. But in the end, their future for me is Howard. As it implicates the fantasy for Michael Pittman, I really feel like this is like the meme with the old man with the shirt, and then he holds another shirt, and it's the same shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the end, I don't see Michael Pittman's situation even get any better. He's got to share now competition, like you said, with DK Metcalf. Plus, Steelers love to utilize their tight ends. You got Fairmuth there. You got, the big dude, Washington. So for me...
Actually, he tore his ACL, I think. So he might not be there in the beginning, but you got Jonnu.
Yeah, you got Jonnu. You got other mouths to feed. So for me, Michael Pittman, even though it was needed real football-wise, because they needed that number too.
Yeah.
For fantasy, I don't like this too much. It puts in the range of like Alec Pierce, 7 or 8 round.
Yeah, Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf. It's going to be
3 wide receiver
evaluate them. Yeah.
3 wide receiver league, 2 flex.
Absolutely.
Of course, all these guys are in play. But if we're talking about traditional playing style, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, he's a no-go for me.
And that's the thing, too. You can't just see a guy like Michael Pittman and hear us say, hey, we don't like him.
It depends on your situation.
And then, don't just say, I'm not drafting him. Right. There might be a point where he is the best wide receiver.
Right, you have to take.
Need. Or in a case, like you said, there's a 3 wide receiver league where the value of wide receivers is much higher. So he's definitely not undraftable, but he's definitely not my top choice. And you're right. There's a lot in limbo with him right now. Absolutely. So on the same team, though, Rico Dowdle, this one, it just hurts my soul because Kenneth Gainwell was already a pain in the ass to deal with as a Jalen Warren manager. And now you got to deal with this guy, Rico Dowdle, coming off a streak.
Yeah, I feel like, Warren and Kenneth Gainwell were a little bit of the same kind of player.
No, I think Warren was more like a bruiser, and
yeah, but
Gainwell
that's what they
like
had. No, but he wasn't a bruiser enough. Like, I feel like they're both pass catching.
They both are pass catchers.
They're like satellite running backs. Rico Dowdle is the bruiser.
In this case.
So I feel like with Dowdle bringing the thunder, Jalen Warren bringing the lightning, I feel like this might be a little bit better for your boy. And because he'll get more receiving.
Sure. And no matter what, Jalen Warren gets a lot of consistent volume, so I'm not denying that. He's never going to be like a 25-plus point game. He's always in the 15 to 20 range, or sometimes on the low end, like 10 to 15. But for his entire career, even behind Najee Harris, Jalen Warren has been productive. So can he coexist with somebody else? Yes. Is he a running back 1? No. Rico Dowdle, I think, almost has a little more upside.
Correct.
And a ceiling where I could see him being a running back 1.
Yeah, but Dowdle definitely has the running back potential to be a 1 just because of the touchdown dependency.
True.
He's like Mike Evans at running back. Like it can turn into a great show where he gets you the hat trick and he gets you 3, rushing touchdowns.
Well, Rico Dowdle, he started last year as a backup for the Carolina Panthers, ended up basically playing all 18 games, averaged 11.6 points in total, but half of the season, Chuba Hubbard wasn't there, and he had a smash couple of games. I mean, if you guys do remember, he had those 2 games back-to-back in Miami, 206 yards rushing, and then he had 183 yards the following week against Dallas. I think you could definitely see those flashes. I could see it happening again in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I mean, look, Pittsburgh, I guess, from an NFL perspective, they got a lot of winners. It's huge. They dominated. But for fantasy, a lot of their assets are in jeopardy right now.
I feel like they're a Pro Bowl. Saturated. They're a 2021 Pro Bowl team.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of washed, I guess. But no, really, no. Honestly, this guy's still got some juice in him.
Yeah.
Let's see who they bring in at quarterback. So
Okay.
Then let's talk about Mr.
Kyler.
I almost said something. I said it to you in the DM earlier. Don't say it.
I know, I'm not.
But that's what I'm. So anyway,
Kyler. Go Kyler Murray. I'll take over here.
Kyler.
Officially signs a 1-year deal. He's getting the league minimum. That's $1.3 million for you folks out there that are scoring. So Kyler Murray, Mike, this guy, he saves Justin Jefferson's career because you're bringing him in to be the one.
Number one.
They had an interview with him, and they said they actually knew each other, him and KOC, Kevin O'Connell, back when Kevin O'Connell was a Redskins assistant coach, and they were looking in the draft for a quarterback. And, he felt like they were always rooting for one another. So I feel like this is just very simple and insert and play. I think Kyler Murray was fed up with being an Arizona Cardinal. I think he had no help around him. And I think, honestly, the coaching staff let him down. Here, you have a great coach in play, CEO coach. You have one of the best wide receivers of all time, if not top 10. And you have a great offensive line. And you know what? Your defense ranked top 10 last year. This team, if they have Kyler Murray last season, they make it to the playoffs, if not win the division. They won 7 games with losers.
Yeah.
So Kyler Murray, I think, brings that veteran experience, and he is going to be, in my opinion, 2026 comeback player of the year. And now, as it relates to fantasy, as you get to your point, I feel like Kyler Murray is a great QB2. You take him, you stash him on your bench, right? Maybe to back up a Jackson Dart.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely drafted.
Yeah, maybe you draft like a Jackson Dart, Drake May, top 5 round, and then you take Kyler Murray in the teens, 10 or 11, and you have him back up. If he becomes what we think he will be taking over your starter just because of the weapons that he has.
We'll see, but this is your last chance, Kyler Murray. If Kevin O'Connell can't save you, then I guess nobody can. So this is your chance. Justin Jefferson needs you. The fantasy world needs you. But that's enough said. I love it. And I'm hoping he has a great year. I really do. I want to see him thrive. He's a good guy. I'm acting like I know him. But listen, I watch all the videos. I basically do it. Yeah, he's on that. But so Kyler's there. Another quarterback I don't like, but I can understand the signing. The Falcons signed Tua Tagovailoa. I was not even going to say his fucking last name. The Falcons signed Tua to a 1-year deal. And to me, it feels only as if they signed him because they needed a lefty, for the same system. That's what I believe. Penix is a lefty. They were like, hey, let's get another lefty quarterback, a veteran. That way you don't have to really switch things up. I'm sure that's a pain in the ass going from a lefty to a righty. But Tua, I don't really know. Like, who cares?
For me, I'm going to give you a little pushback on
What's the point? Hold on. I just got to understand, what is the possible pushback? There's no benefit to this, right?
Well, my argument is for Tua.
Go ahead.
Is that not only did you bring up same lefty quarterback, what have you, but weapons, right? First year with Mike McDaniels, Tua Tagovailoa
I don't want to hear you argue.
was a top 5 option at the QB position. You had Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, running back. It wasn't a chain. It was Raheem Mostert, right? Mustard.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert.
Okay, now we come into the Atlanta Falcons 2026. We got Bijan Mustard in the back. We got Kyle Pitts on the franchise tag. And we got Drake London, I hope you don't fall, at the X receiver. So I feel with the quick rhythm passing, I don't think Penix is it. So this is a man, I am telling you right now, I will have on every roster that I play this year, all 6, 7 teams, I don't care.
Who?
I'm taking him as the last pick of the draft.
Tua?
Tua.
Good luck. Enough said. I think the audience is laughing at you as my rebuttal. I'll tell you, the only reason, so my frustration with Tua is the fact that he just seems flustered on the football field.
Go on.
Seems just very flustered ever since dealing with all his concussions. You watch him play. He cannot play outdoors. He's not a quarterback to play outdoors.
This is indoor.
And I'm just saying that I would have much preferred Kirk Cousins than Tua. I don't think Tua is going to give Kyle Pitts 45 points anytime soon.
I think, like how I tell friends, family, all that, it all depends where you go. Tua is going to have Kevin Stefanski, quick rhythm passing. You got Bijan in the backfield, like I said. And then also, too, like, I love this for Kyle Pitts. I think him and Kyle Pitts are going to be a match made in heaven. He loves going to the tight end. Look at Darren Waller down the stretch. And also, just a little quick tidbit, Tua played most of his college games in that stadium when Alabama would play bowl games. So he's accustomed to the stadium. I mean, I'm a big division guy. Look where they play.
Yeah.
All the games in Mercedes-Benz, they go to Caesars, New Orleans, they go to Carolina, Tampa. I don't think it's sub 50 degrees.
Well, fuck Tua. Next, J.K. Dobbins, re-signed 2-year deal, $20 million. The only thing I'll say about this is I guess Dobbins is relevant still. And for those dynasty managers out there, you got to hold on a little longer on R.J. Harvey because right now he's not going to be, he's not going to be the starter over there, and don't expect him to be anytime soon unless Dobbins goes down, which is very possible. But
just a quick note on that. With the Dobbins signing, if I were in your dynasty league, I would be trying to trade for R.J. Harvey. People are going to be a little bit down on him with the J.K. Dobbins signing. So, throw a third-round rookie pick, and you could stash him on your bench because this man could get hurt going to the bathroom. And that's all I'm going to say.
Literally. So it's a great move. Definitely great handcuff. Kenneth Gainwell, another handcuff. 2 years, $14 million with the Buccaneers. Yeah, it's definitely a weird play for the Bucs. I mean, I guess not weird, but where did Rachaad White go? Did he end up going to?
He went to the Commanders.
So he went to the Commanders. At least he's not in town anymore. But you got Bucky Irving, you got him, and then of course you got the marvelous man who decides to come out once every year, Sean Tucker. So you never know when he's going to come in and steal 3 touchdowns. But yeah, Kenneth Gainwell there. I don't see him being much different than he was last year in Pittsburgh. But I do say that he's probably going to affect Bucky Irving's value a little bit. You'll probably see him get a lot of the passing work. And I wouldn't be surprised already you saw him getting his touchdown or his red zone carries taken away. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave more work to Gainwell.
Yeah, I think, this spells danger for Bucky Irving truthers out there. And, Kenneth Gainwell, again, another guy I truly feel will be on all of my rosters. Back end.
I like him.
He's a great stash. And let's not forget, with Aaron Rodgers, oh my God, did you see that Lions game when he caught that fantastic play over Anzalone, who will be his teammate in Tampa?
Wow, it's crazy. He was supposed to be a Jet, God damn it.
So, nevertheless, Kenneth Gainwell on all of Puma's rosters, make note.
Kenneth Gainwell's great. Tyler Algier, another guy. I wouldn't say I'm too big on drafting him. I will put him on my bench if I can. But if you ask me, there are too many Chiefs and not enough Indians in that running back room in Arizona. They just re-signed Bam Knight. They have James Conner already, and they just restructured his contract. Trey Benson. Now you bring in Algier. And Puma was just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if they draft Jeremiah Love. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
I want no part of that running back room in Arizona.
I'm with Mike on this one. I want no part of it. Again, too many Indians, not a Chief. And I truly feel there's no lead guy. It could be anyone on any day. And as fantasy owners, we hate that.
Yeah.
So move on.
Russian roulette. Isiah Pacheco, man, this one hurt my soul when I saw that he signed a 1-year, $1.81 million contract. I mean, he's on a real prove-it deal. Like this, let me see you still got it, because after that injury, you haven't really seen him get back to form. That Super Bowl Isiah Pacheco.
Yeah, I don't think that man is coming back anytime soon. If anything, the biggest winner out of this is Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Because they could have went to someone that could, be more qualified. Yeah. Like if you heard on Monday morning that the Lions got Rico Dowdle, now you're like, uh-oh.
Totally.
Is this going to spell Kareem Hunt and take some touchdowns? But Isiah Pacheco is usually used within the 20s. No real threat. Jeremiah Gibbs, truthers, be happy. Rejoice.
Jahmyr.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs.
He said Jeremiah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs' fantasy value remains untouched.
Yes.
He's the man.
Oops.
Here's another little tidbit. Actually, pretty big deal. Wan'Dale Robinson, 4 years, $78 million in Tennessee. He's down with Dable's offense. Brian Dable, ex-head coach of the Giants, he's down there now. They got Wan'Dale. They made a lot of moves. Now, I wouldn't get too excited about a Tennessee Titans offense. I'm not really excited about drafting any of these guys, but Cam Ward definitely looked pretty good last year. Wan'Dale looked great. New York, keep in mind it's going to be a new team, but yeah, I mean, is he a fantasy asset? I think he's
like the other two for me. It's like, with Pittman and Alec Pierce, 3 wide receiver man, he becomes viable for me and a flex. But as a classic league format, hell no. I mean, maybe he's a bench spot by filler, but...
And honestly, in those positions, and Len, take a note of this, in those positions, when I have the ability to draft a Wan'Dale Robinson or an Alec Pierce or Michael Pittman, like Puma said, that's the time where I'm usually looking for somebody with boom potential, somebody that might not be, drafted in the next 2 rounds at that position. If I see at the end, like, oh, I can snag this rookie, let's say Jordan Tyson or something, somebody, an upcoming rookie. Cardell Tate, he'll probably end up going ahead of him, but I'm trying to think of other rookies. Malachi Lemon, I might actually say, hey, I'm gonna take him in 2 rounds later. Let me add an extra RB here, or let me grab my quarterback now. That's where I'll look away from that position.
I love the point, but it doesn't have to be a rookie. It could also be a second-time player.
I'm saying potential.
Yeah,
type,
to piggyback on him, Jaden Higgins, right? Jaden Higgins was the talk of the draft last year as coming in as Nico Collins 2.0.
Yeah.
He's in second year. I love second-year wide receivers, get to establish themselves more on the offense. So I feel like if you have Jaden Higgins along with a Wan'Dale Robinson, Alec Pierce, Pittman, I'd rather go Higgins all day.
Yeah.
The potential is
That's what I'm saying, though,
Yeah.
because the value in the draft, it might be telling you, hey, you need to draft one of these guys now in round 6.
This is going by numbers.
But if I say, hey, I think the guy that's projected to go round 9 is going to finish better than him, I will draft him, and I'll get away from this and then go.
You're stealing in the draft.
So, and that's like, a good strategy to kind of keep that in mind. And then another guy that I'd say fits in that same category, Romeo Dobbs, 4 years, $70 million to the Patriots. Kind of hurt my soul for Kayshon Boutte because I was like, I think Boutte would be like...
I think they're the same kind of player.
Well, because they're both that boom potential. Touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
But, Stephon Diggs was released officially.
Right.
He will no longer be there. You said it last year, too. Honestly, you can't really trust many Patriots wide receivers, pass catchers. So even in PPR leagues, I mean, great streamers, though.
Yeah, we used to call it Bellatrix, but now it's... again, you just can't trust them. It could be anyone on any given day. The only one you can trust is Drake May. So you move on from that.
One more before we run out of time. Isaiah Likely, 3 years, $40 million to the Giants.
All right.
Harbaugh brought him back.
Harbaugh brought in one of his boys, and honestly, he pulled one of the most mind games ever, giving Mark Andrews the same money last postseason, and then knowing that maybe he would have been released, whatever, takes his boy Isaiah Likely going to the
likely
Giants.
to do that, I guess. But you know what? Look, he's a guy that you could probably draft at the end of the draft, stash him on the bench.
Absolutely.
See if they get a lot of production out of Dart.
If he's utilized.
Dart did target Theo Johnson a lot last year, which was the tight end for the Giants. So you could probably expect a similar thing, especially from a scrambling quarterback like Dart, a mobile quarterback. So, hey, who knows? I'm likely to not pick him. No, I might. But anyway, last thing we got to talk about, and I'm getting so fucking annoyed about everybody talking shit about this move. Mr. Geno Smith to the New York Jets.
Hey, they wrote me off, but I didn't write back.
People are probably asking why we saved this to the end, but I think it's kind of relevant. Like, especially with some fantasy values.
Yeah, I think it's relevant in the terms of a lot of people are putting this trade down. Now, again, are we going to win a Super Bowl? Probably not.
No, but we know that. That's why we're taking this temporary Band-Aid.
Right, it's a Band-Aid. But also, too, Geno might have streaming options. Now, a big divisional guy, right? Miami, they play them twice. That's a great matchup. They lost all their defensive players, especially, departing from Bradley Chubb, Minka Fitzpatrick. So they're going to be younger on the defensive end. Geno's still a veteran. He could pick apart that team. and so on. So, just for streaming sake, but in terms of even draftable, no, he is not draftable unless you're playing in a super.
No, but in terms of fantasy football, like let me ask you this and Len, take a note. Fantasy football, who would you rather? Would you rather draft Garrett Wilson with Justin Fields or Garrett Wilson with Geno Smith? Who would you rather?
Well, right now, you rather Geno Smith with Garrett Wilson because we know.
And he's known as a gunslinger. Geno Smith's letting the ball.
So are you saying if someone drafts Garrett Wilson and they could get a cheap stack with a Geno Smith?
I wouldn't consider.
Would you try?
I wouldn't be excited for the stack as much, but I believe that he's going to get hella targets. If they both go into the season starting healthy, you can expect that first game, Garrett Wilson, at least 7 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
I'll give you a sneaky.
That's what I think.
Sneaky pick, Mason Taylor. Geno Smith loves the tight end. I mean, Brock Bowers needs no introduction. But there were a handful of games where Brock Bowers had 2 or 3 touchdowns. I could see Mason Taylor having some of those games. Again, stream dependent, but again, keep that in mind.
Totally. So regardless, out with the old, in with the new. We're Jets fans for life, so let's deal with it. Now, let's finish off real quick. Biggest losers. I will go first. Our biggest losers, we've already discussed one of them, and I'm going to retouch on this subject, Mr. Alvin Kamara. I mentioned it last year. He was actually my, what do we call that? One of my bold predictions of a guy that's going to fall outside the top 24. My bold prediction was Alvin Kamara would not finish a top 2 running back. So what does this mean? Now that Travis Etienne is there, you have to believe that with that kind of contract money, Alvin Kamara is clearly not the workhorse anymore. He's already older. Last year, he wasn't that productive, and he was injured most of the year. You can almost be certain that Alvin Kamara's career is now over in terms of fantasy. He is no longer a top 3 rounds or a 4th round running back. So despite even being a PPR league and being the PPR machine Alvin Kamara has always been, right now, he's just completely lost that elite value, and he's a low-end RB3.
Mike, I knew I'd probably see the day. I took Alvin Kamara in Dynasty all those years ago.
Glenn, can we get the Alvin Kamara Funko Pop?
2018, and I kept him ever since.
Oh my God!
So just seeing that player
is it downstairs?
Helped me win 3 Super Bowls. It hurts a little bit, but I knew it's like seeing Mariano Rivera pitch his last game. It's bound to happen.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. But it is my turn, and this is a guy that I was huge on last year. It is Bucky Irving from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my biggest loser. Okay, it does not help bringing in a Kenneth Gainwell, who with the Steelers recorded 537 yards and 5 touchdowns, averaging 4.7 per carry. Adding Gainwell just further complicates things in the backfield, like you touched on, Sean Tucker, Bucky Irving. This just complicates things and just too many mouths to feed for one ball.
Wow. It's so true, though, and it's so sad because what happened? This was the 2nd round running back.
But how about this? Bucky Irving's biggest valuable is catching the ball out of the backfield. Well, Kenneth Gainwell takes that away from you. Now you're making Bucky Irving one-dimensional, and that does not scream bell cow for me. This pushes Bucky Irving to the 5th or 6th round.
Well, let's see, man. If he gets a little hot, and gets back to the same old Bucky Irving, he did coexist with your man Boring, a.k.a. Rashad White. So I could see.
But Rashad White wasn't getting 14 mil.
Well,
you see what I mean? You got to follow the money, people.
That's 14 mil,
Yeah,
that's still a lot. You're right. It's still like $7 million.
They didn't bring him in to hold his water. He's gonna do work. And on passing situations, I feel like Kenneth Gainwell, like he did in Pittsburgh, is going to take that mantle from Jaylen Warren, now from Bucky Irving. And Bucky Irving's disciples are just in misery right now because this guy was supposed to be the lead dog. And now he's just relegated to be, even though he's first on the depth chart, but let's see what his rushing attempts are like and stuff like that. So,
Oh man.
I don't know. It puts you in a foul mood about Bucky Irving because I really liked him as a prospect.
You know what? I never thought we would be including Bucky Irving in our fantasy football biggest losers, but here we are today. And along with pretty much all 32 teams, some team has had some major development offensively, which has changed the course of their fantasy relevance. So that's why you got to stay in touch throughout the year. Follow up with us, listen to our news, because we're bringing up a lot of key things and key points. Somebody that you thought last year was completely undraftable might be completely draftable this year, and vice versa. So again, thank you for listening. We forgot to say it in the beginning. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Please.
The Fantasy Wise Guys, Mr. Mike Meals.
Joey Puma.
We didn't introduce ourselves early, Ivory.
You know what? It was such a show that we were so geared up all week to do
I know.
that we weren't even worried about ourselves. We're worried about getting the information to the people.
And my God, did we. So have a great night.
Master
Have a great
your geek.
See you later.